Over the past 2 decades, there has been a huge advancement in gaming technology, with thousands of games being made available to the public on over 30 different formats. The way we experience gaming is life-changing.
You're not doing things that a normal child should.
The days of schoolyard games are over. The days of virtual warfare have begun.
It's all down to the game.
My name's Robert Davis and I do Theology and Religious Studies at York St John. Some days I'll spend 6-7 hours playing and other days I won't go on at all, but I'd probably say on average around about 5 hours.
I'm Joe, I'm 22, I'm a student doing counselling, but that's just my part-time vocation. I'm a full-time assassin. I don't really think that's a game, but I spend about 12, 13 hours, but that's more like it's like a life choice rather than a game.
I'm Dana, I'm 20 and I do counselling studies at York St John. Probably roughly about 5 a night, but that's not every night though, that's just when I feel like it, as long as I'm not like doing anything else.
My favourite game is Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls. It's just such an immersive game. I mean, it's open world, it's all rendered, so you start on one edge of the map and the other end of the map's still there. You can just walk to it. And there's random encounters along the way. So if you walk around, you might run into a bandit, but if you die, respawn and walk the same way, you won't run into him, or you run into something completely different. It's a whole amazing world that never's the same.
There's only one game, and that's Assassin's Creed. Because I feel connected with the game. I'm an assassin, and playing this has just been like playing my brothers and being part of my creed. It's an enjoyable experience.
It affects my uni work quite a bit. I mean, I'm not the most concentrated person anyway. So when I get home and it's like, oh, I should really be writing 2,000 words of my essay, it's, oh, I'll just put the Xbox on for 10 minutes. 3 hours later, still sitting there. And it does affect my work a lot. When I bought Skyrim, I actually had it hidden from me for about 3 weeks because I had essays in and I would not have done them if I was playing.
Counselling student Joe talks about his life as an assassin.
I wouldn't really say, like I say, counsel is a part-time thing. It's more like a cover because every good assassin has like an alter ego. But so yeah, grades aren't really important to me because at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a counsellor, I'm going to be an assassin because I was born to be an assassin, I was born into the creed.
What are your grades like at uni?
First.
First.
Yeah, I'm really clever.
I have to get 80% attendance, otherwise I automatically fail. But I probably don't spend as much time reading or doing my essays as I should. It's so easy to just come in and be like, okay, Skyrim or work.
Not so much pick games as not going out. But given all my friends are just as big a gamers as me, a lot of the time it's I'll go over to their house or they'll come over here and we'll just sit and play like Battlefield 3. And we'll just spend the night on the Xbox or the PS3. But it's always if someone says, do you want to go out to Fibbers, do you want to go out? It's, yeah, sure. It's never, oh, I'm going to stay in and play my game.
I don't go out quite as much and there is like money issues as well. But, you know, if it's between playing a game or going out, I will choose to go out. I don't sort of pick games over social life.
What is a perfect childhood? Playing outside in your new paddling pool, spending long days down the park, or going to the beach with friends and family. Time moves on, and with time comes change. How many people now share the same view? I mean, it's just a game, right?
I think it is not forcing, but just encouraging people to sit much longer on games and not go out, which I think is a big loss, especially for the younger generation coming into it. who are like 6 or 7 and are spending more time than I am on the Xbox and not going outside, I think it could be really detrimental to like their upbringing. And
maybe not Call of Duty because it's got like a lot of killing and stuff in, and if you imagine like a little 6-year-old playing it and they're meant to be a bit more sort of innocent, I suppose it seems a bit, but you know, other games, and maybe 6 hours a bit excessive at their age as well, but then again I suppose they get less homework and probably might not have as much to keep them occupied, so I don't know. My grandparents are really, really against it. They don't understand it because they're not from the sort of generation where there were like computer games and that, so to them it's just completely alien. I don't think they even had like TV and stuff, so they probably didn't have them like distractions. She did try and limit me to my PS2 at the time. She'd say only on weekends for 1 hour, and I used to protest about that quite a bit. My dad's a bit of a gamer himself, so he's quite relaxed about it. He's my stepdad, so he sort of met my mum when I was about 3, so I think that was probably his way of probably bonding with me a little bit. Whereas my mum's just a bit like, well, you're 20 years old now, it's up to you to sort of decide how you spend your time.
I mean, I was brought up playing the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis and all the old consoles, which are cartridges. You stick the cartridge in, you play, you take it out, you lost all your save data, start again. And I think as gaming's become more advanced, as it's moved on with hard drives and save data, and especially online gaming, it's changed a lot of the way people look at gaming and look at people who play games. When I was younger, everyone had a PS2. And it was just the PS2, and you went round to your mate's house, you had 4 controllers, and you played all together in the same room. Nowadays you've got Xbox Live, the PSN network, and I think it's taken a lot of fun out of the games. If you look at a lot of games nowadays, there aren't that many that have co-op. You can't buy a game and have 2 people, 3 people sitting in the same room playing it unless it's specifically designed for it, which is taking a lot of the social aspect out. It's adding to the stereotype of gamers being reclusive, sitting in their rooms for like 20 hours on end, drinking Relentless, not talking to anybody. I think it's had quite a detrimental but also a positive effect, because you can play with people from Japan, China, meet people around the world. I've actually made quite a few friends online just by shooting them in the face and then sending me a message saying they hate me. I've sent them one back and it's just got a chat going and just started talking on Facebook and actually being quite good mates. I've got one in Canada, so yeah.
That's cool.
I do know a group of people that play World of Warcraft and they meet people online, and they've actually like met up with some people, whereas I'm sometimes a bit funny about that because you don't know who they might be, if you see what I mean, so it's a bit of a risky thing to do.
I mean, when I was a kid, I was the reclusive gamer. I really was. I was so socially awkward. And I think gaming had positive things for it. It let me get an escape. It's why I like RPG games like Skyrim, because it's a bit of an escape. It's away from the world. But likewise, it takes you away from the world. You're not going out with your friends. You're not doing things that a normal child should. You're sitting in a room just playing on a game, which is fine every now and again, but if you're doing it for long periods of time, especially at such a young age, you're not really getting very good social skills, you're not going out as much. I mean, it led to me being obese. I was bound about 18 stone when I was younger. And a large contributing factor of that was the fact that I just sat there and played on my Xbox or PS3 or whatever.
I don't know any other life really, so I couldn't really compare it to anything, but it's hard at times, it's lonely. Like, I can't form relationships with other people because I don't want to put them in danger from the Templars, because that's one thing I would hate to do, because someone who I love could be infiltrated by them, could sell me out, or they could become a target, and I'm not willing to do that. My ex-girlfriend tried to get me into, what was it? Call of Duty, but then again, it wasn't for me because it just wasn't really realistic. Like, but then yeah, well, she didn't understand, I didn't understand, so we went our separate ways in that one, and then separate ways in life. But it's for the best, because she could be a Templar for all that. She probably is, because she's got that mindset. It's been rocky. I used to have a full costume, but then when my mum found out I was like spending all my money on like Persian silk and like body armour, she got quite annoyed and stopped paying my rent. So I had to sell all my stuff and pay my rent.
The ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes, to experience the life of another. Games bring many things to people's lives, but is it for good? or bad.
The story never finishes. There's always things to do.